Hello, and welcome to the Pulse of Jonesboro. I am Jeremy Terrell, and I am your host, and I appreciate you tuning in. Today's a good one as far as information goes about our city. There has been a ongoing talk about the location of the new E911 center and the new police station that would be following, years after. And there was a debate, kind of a heated debate this last week concerning this. And this was at city council meeting. One of the committees came in and had a discussion about this, and it made up about half of the city council. So let's talk about what happened. First of all, the biggest thing is the location. So there's property that the mayor wants to purchase, and that is at the Caraway Road location. So the police department has a place at Caraway Road. That's where the current E911 center is. It's where CID, criminal investigation, is, and a couple of other things. And they want it in the back there. We don't own the property, but they just want it in the back there. And then the other location is the old Justice Department building, which is down Washington in the downtown area, which is where others have been located. Other parts of the department have been located, and we own that place. So the debate is that. They did some cost analysis. They did some work on what it would cost to buy, purchase, build over on Caraway versus demo build over at Washington. And here are the numbers. So I don't have them specifically down. I'm rounding up and rounding down, but basically the location at Caraway would cost $10 million plus, a little bit over $10 million. The location downtown would cost a little over $9 million. So $1 million savings. Number one, we only have $5 million to go to this. So I'm not sure what they're going to do and where they're going to get the rest of the money. So at least that's what has been budgeted and allocated for this. But the land has to be purchased, and we're going to talk about that here in just a second. The land has to be purchased on the Caraway Road location. It does not have to be purchased on the Washington location, but we do have to tear down some buildings at the same time that the new construction could go forward. So the savings, $1 million savings, that's big. That's really big for you and me, the taxpayers, right? I mean, $1 million is $1 million. No way. There's no way to say that $1 million is not a lot of money. So there's some back and forth between two of our city council. And in that back and forth, it was Chris Moore and John Street. And in that back and forth, John was for the Caraway and Chris is for the downtown. In that back and forth, Chris brought up all kinds of different things: money, drainage, location, purpose, and John brought up convenience, and it's okay to spend more money, and he believes that that's where the chief wants it. So they went back and forth. I encourage you to go back and look at it. We'll probably put a link in there so you can see the video. But it's pretty. It was a good back and forth. I'll say. Then they asked Chief to come up and talk about it. And so he did, and he's adamant that it goes at Caraway. And his reasons are, which are some legit reasons, but CID will stay in the building that is on Caraway. If you put the E911 center, which is real-time crime center, downtown, that would make CID a distance, obviously, away from the real-time crime center. That brings some extra added logistics, obviously. But here's the thing that I talk about, and I've talked about this, it's been a long time ago, but the E911 center, when it becomes a real, true, real-time crime center, they will be able to give video real-time. They'll be able to share it real-time. So if you're CID, you should be able to have all of that video on your personal laptop anytime you need it, in real time. That's what it should be. That's the direction we're going to go. So the distance is not that big of a deal. A real-time crime center is supposed to be able to actually give the police officer who shows up on the scene first of a wreck or something the video. They should have it on their laptop. And yes, so temporarily, maybe that pushes the E911 center to get to where they should be to be a true real-time crime center. And maybe they can already do that. If they can already do that, then this isn't as big of a deal as they're making it out to be. So maybe that'll push them to get that done. The thing that keeps coming back to me, though, I'm going to go to the research that I did. And the research that I did on locating it downtown versus Caraway, one of the biggest reasons is, number one, that would be such a benefit to downtown. As taxpayers, we're sinking tons and tons of money into downtown. And don't get me wrong, I want downtown to be beautiful and nice, have all the bells and whistles. But we sink a ton of money downtown. It's a ton of effort. So in doing so, we need to make sure that we are protecting our investment. One of the biggest ways is to have that downtown, to have the police department downtown. It does wonderful things. You can use it as a resource. There's lots of different things that they could be doing. I sent out my report, and we'll put a copy on Facebook. You can use that as a resource that people can go to. We have all of our criminal, all of our justice, all of our courts, the city, everything is downtown. Why in the world would you not put it downtown as well? The other thing that it does is it gives everybody a sense of security, right? Obviously, you're going to have police coming and going and lots of different things happening. You could use that, as a massive deterrent for crime. And I think that that's needed in downtown area. We don't need crime. So it's a huge point. One of the biggest points is that if you put it downtown, it actually raises the value of the businesses and houses around there. So when you have a police department located close, it actually brings up the property value. That is an amazing, amazing, amazing thing. And why in the world would we not want to do that downtown? Doesn't make any sense. So putting it on Caraway, there's nothing to really raise the value. That part of that area is what it is. So it brings no value benefit financially to put it on Caraway. It does bring a ton to put it on at Washington. The other thing is the money and the difference there in the savings. It's $1 million savings. That's huge. And the chief actually stood up and he said, well, it's only $1 million. We're only talking about an extra $1 million. Why are we even having this discussion? And my blood boiled. That aggravated me so bad. And that's the problem that we have, is a lot of our city employees think that this is their money or they can do whatever they want to with it. And that's so frustrating to me. Drives me bonkers. And I cannot believe he said that. Hopefully he'll take that part back. I don't know, but I was furious when that happened. And just to say that it's only $1 million. Well, it is $1 million of our taxpayers' money. And they should, especially the city council, make sure that they're spending our money wisely. Which brings me to a huge point. Now, you're going to love this part. Let's look at the cost of this property. So the cost of the property, let me make sure my notes are correct here. The cost of this property, number one, it's 2.5 acres. Okay. So 2.5 acres. The price of that is $1.5 million. $1.5 million. Now, it was $2 million when the mayor was asking for this in the beginning. I don't know what that is per acre. A lot. So just under $1 million per acre, right? So I did some research. And if you look at the sports complex, which is prime property, we bought 30 acres. And we bought it for like just over $5 million. 30 acres for just over 5. 30 for just over 5. And they want to buy 2.5 for 1.5 million. So break down that cost. With the road that we have to put in, don't do the road. So without the road, but we got to put a road in. So that's an extra $600,000 or $400,000, and we spent $140,000 per acre for the sports complex. This would cost us, without the road, $600,000 per acre. The most prime property in Jonesboro currently right now is Southern Hills. That's probably for business purposes or anything like that that's going on new in Jonesboro. That's prime property. That property sells for anywhere between $120,000 to $160,000 per acre. And they want to purchase land for $600,000 per acre. 3 to 4 times more than the most prime property in Jonesboro. That's got to make you scratch your head and go, wait a minute. Why in the world would we be okay with that? And why in the world would the city council not turn to the mayor and say, absolutely not. You go back and negotiate and get it down to realistic numbers. That's what the city council is supposed to do. They're supposed to spend taxpayers' money wisely. They're supposed to take care of you and me. They're supposed to make sure that frivolous things aren't happening. It's so concerning. It looks bad. It looks nefarious. It looks like something may be going on, that you're buying property from your neighbor at 3 to 4 times more than any other property in Jonesboro. Any other property. That doesn't make any sense. Something's wrong there. And everybody involved, that should be radar, buzzers, bells going off, number one. No way. But some of them haven't even thought about it, and some of them don't even care. That is so amazing to me, that some of them don't even care that we are possibly going to purchase land for the city at a level 4 times more than any other property price in town. This property has been for sale for 20 years plus. Nobody has bought it. Nobody has wanted it. So it's not worth that much. This guy was selling the entire 12 acres for $2 million. And here comes the city. Oh, hey, let's sell 2 acres or 2.5 acres for $2 million. The same price I was asking for all 12 acres. That's so crazy. And then, on top of the chief of police saying it's only $1 million, like, that is so crazy to me. So if the city council moves forward and those that vote for purchasing land at a rate of $600,000 per acre, and Chris Moore pointed this out, and he's totally correct. There's a $400,000 road that 100% has to be done. There's all kinds of stipulations in there that he's got. This project's going to be way more. That's the other thing. This project's going to be way, way, way more because there's all kinds of crazy stipulations from the seller. But add that $400,000, this makes the property $800,000 per acre. $800,000 per acre. It just blows me away. And everybody needs to be contacting them. I think it's alderman@jonesboro.com or alderman. I'm going to look it up. Let's just look it up because I think everybody needs to be emailing our constituents. I mean, the constituents need to be emailing our city council and saying, absolutely not. Absolutely not. So it is alderman@jonesboro.org. So that's alderman, ALDERMAN @jonesboro.org. So if you want to email them and find out what in the world's going on and that they shouldn't be doing this, that's where you email it to. And here's kind of the last thing. This also aggravates me incredibly bad. There's an extra price. Oh, speaking of which, before we get to that, they in this presentation, they front-loaded all of the site work for downtown. Now, don't get me wrong, they have to do some of that, the majority of that up front, regardless of what phases, and there's some extra phases in there. But they put no site work, dirt, or anything on the Caraway Road when they made this presentation. So it's not an extra $1 million. It's actually an extra $1.5 million. So they're being shady. They're not showing us everything, and it's really frustrating. They're trying to pull one over on us, and this has been going on for over a year, like a year and a half, that the mayors want to buy this specific land for whatever reason, and it just looks bad. And I kind of, if this happens, I kind of want an investigation on all of the correspondence between everybody involved on purchasing land at a level higher than any other property, possibly higher than any other property in the entire state. I want to know who all was involved, what was the conversations, and where is all of that money going to? 100%. So here's the crazy thing too. There's big water issues down there, big drainage issues down around Washington in that area. And one of the, I think it's Street again, he brought up how, and maybe it was the chief, that there's water issues and drainage issues, and every once in a while there's some flooding. And I think it was Chris Moore again that said, it's been, I don't know, 6, 8, 10 years, something like that, since anything's flooded. But regardless, it does flood. And what's frustrating is in the new, if everything's built downtown, they're going to fix the flooding. If not, they're not going to fix the flooding. That's crazy. So the citizens are not important enough to get money spent on fixing the flooding only if the new building goes downtown. Think about that for a second. And that's what we get on a regular basis. That's the way that our city government thinks about us right now. If it's not bothering them, we're not going to fix it. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And there's all kinds of other things, that are going into this, and it's kind of silly stuff, but none of it really makes that big of a deal. The thing that really makes a big deal is the amount of money, the savings, and the chief, which I agreed with him on this, and that it sucks that they've been treated as far as their location so bad for so many years, and they need a place that they can operate and function at, and they're going to get one. They're going to get a new, great, wonderful place. It may not be exactly what they want, but they're going to get one of the best places they've ever had, and hopefully one of the best places in the entire state, if done correctly. But you got to do it wisely. You got to spend taxpayers' money perfect, without question. There is no bullcrap. But over and over and over again, we spend it frivolously. We spend millions and millions of dollars at a level that is dumb, and this is one of them. Guys, have a great week. Appreciate you tuning in, and we're making a difference. So check in, send some emails. If this matters to you, let your voice be heard. Like this on Facebook and Instagram, and let's get them to do what's right. We'll talk to you guys next week. Have a great, wonderful week, and see you later.